people what they hear. So like they name.
It blows my mind that
Navy,
Maru
which is
Castro is
US
still
Navy.
alive.
I remember
That guy
Hi,
in the
guys.
90s, right?
Hi, Steve.
Hello,
How old is Maru
Yeah,
Castro?
let me just,
Yeah.
I just
It
put my
blows my
things on
mind
there,
that
so.
that
All right.
doctor is still alive.
Where?
Go get some there.
It is funny.
I
The
don't
young
need
boy
this, I'm gonna
cracks
just
me up.
listen along and be quiet.
Okay.
No.
Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Thank you for making the time to be here. Lovely to have you. And we're gonna get started here. So I wanna encourage you to get yourself as comfortable as you can. And let this be a time when you are taking care of yourself, because that's really a lot of what this is. Because we know that the more chesed, the more loving kindness, and the more ahava, the more love that we can show toward ourselves. And this is not narcissism or ego or being arrogant or anything of the sort. This is simply treating our own minds and hearts with at least as much kindness and compassion as we would extend to someone that we love. So whatever your day has been like up to this point, or whatever might be going on in your life this day, this moment, let this time be a gift, a generous gift to yourself. And if that thought of being generous toward yourself kicks up some dust, one meditation teacher I know likes to say, if it generates any thoughts of judgment, any thoughts about meriting or deserving, whatever, know that your being here is inherently an act of generosity. It is a gift to yourself, but your presence is also a gift to everyone who is here with you right now, whether or not you even know their name. Your being here supports all the rest of us. And your being here supports and lends strength to people who are watching this online right now, and to those who will partake of it, watch the live stream sometime later on. This is one of the reasons that in our tradition, a synagogue or any group of people who come together to meditate, to pray, is called a kehillah kadosha in Hebrew, a sacred community. Kadosha, kadosh, means to be set apart, to be special, to be awesome and infused with the divine. And all of those qualities of holiness are true of this gathering right now. This is a Kihila Kadosha. You are part of a sacred community. And in a world like ours, with everything that we know too well is going on, just to fulfill the intention to come and sit in shalom, in peace, in quiet, in stillness, in the world that is so filled with noise and conflict. This is also a sacred, a holy thing to do. This too is kadosh. And as your heart opens to a sense of tenderness and generosity toward your own experience, you might see what it's like to imagine that kindness and tenderness, that ahava, that love, that chesed, that loving kindness. See what it's like to imagine all those beautiful human qualities radiating outward from you and embracing all who are here with you at this moment, all who may be participating elsewhere. You might see what it's like to cradle, to hold this small blessing. May you know blessing. May you feel loved. May you know a measure of shalom, of peace. So now, let your awareness rest upon the sensations of breathing. Wherever those sensations, wherever that experience of breathing is most apparent, it might be in the sensation of the air moving in and out of your mouth or nose. It might be in the expanding and contracting of your belly and your rib cage on the inhale and on the exhale. But we're going to see what it's like to set the intention, the kavanah of just experiencing, just taking an interest in how it feels to be just sitting quietly and breathing. And when your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, and you realize that you've fallen away from being with your breath, without any criticism or fanfare, just let your attention come back to how it feels to be a living and breathing human being in this place. So we're going to, as we usually do, sing together a little bit as we prepare to make way to move into some singing and some of the Hebrew prayers, and English too. It's been a while since we sang Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, and such a beautiful thing to sing together. The words are Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, Vayehi li Lishua, from the Torah and from the book of Psalms. Yah, which is the name for God, is my strength and my refuge. Vayehi li Lishua, and this has brought me to a place of safety. So we'll sing it through a few times. It goes like this. Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, Vayehi li Lishua. 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 One last time. Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, Vayehi li Lishua. 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 So please don't rush. Take your time. And whenever you feel like you are ready to let your eyes open, if they've been closed, you can do that. And we are going to pick up with some of the prayers from the weekday evening service. If you've got a prayer book, we're going to start on page 4. And certain parts we rise. If you want to rise, you're welcome to. And that includes the call to worship, Baruch Hu. That's on page 4. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. And on page 6, as the day falls, we have Ma'ariv Aravim, and we say, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim, B'chokhmah Poteach Sha'arim, Uvidvuna Meshane Itim, Umachalif et Hazmanim, Umisader et HaKochavim, B'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono, Borei Yom V'Layla, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, V'choshech Mipnei Or, Uma'avir yom umevi laila, uma'avdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu La'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Arabim. And on page 8, in gratitude for the gift of Torah, we'll sing Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadita. Akein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shofeinu u'b'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki heim chayenu le'orech yameinu, u'vahem negeh yomam v'layla. On the next page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You can have a seat, and we'll pick up with V'ahavta over on page 12. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol modecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am B'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'od b'yadecha v'hayu l'totavot bein einecha u'v'tartam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru Va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, b'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiyot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And on page 16. Micha Mocha, the metaphor and the reality of moving from a narrow and constricted place to a place which is more spacious and in which we have a greater sense of hope and possibility. That is part of the spirit of Micha Mocha. So we'll sing this together. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osef ele, Malchutecha ra'u v'necha bokeya, Yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'yamru anu v'yameru, Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. And on the next page, the beauty of having a prayer, a blessing, which is so human and basic, at this time of day. God, grant that I might have a restful night's sleep, and may I wake up refreshed and ready for life. Tomorrow, we know this is no small thing and no small ask or request, and we wish it for each other and for our world. May we have rest, and may that rest happen in a Sukkot Shalom, in a shelter of peace. So, Uferos Aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha, Uferos Aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, la 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 la, uferos aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shlomecha, ya la la la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, la 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 la. Beautiful. On page 20, the Reader's Kaddish, then we'll move into the Tefillah. Yikada v'yikada shemei Rabba v'yalmad yirach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayerecho beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach la'alam u'lomei amaya Yitbarach, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'rihu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'yama v'imru amen. Beautiful. So, page 74 is where the Amidah starts. Chant the first few of the brachot together, and then just go off silently and stand or sit. And if you're standing, sit when you feel like your prayer is finished. Adonai sefatai tifta ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gevula Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor L'Olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Ata Rav L'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem amonato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot umidom elach, melech meimit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Good evening, everybody. Erev Tov. Nice to have you here. Thanks for coming out. I don't get up to the Dell Jewish Community Campus all that often because much of my busyness and responsibility takes place here. But I've been invited to go up to the Dell campus tonight. They have a group called J-Men. I'm not exactly sure how that is. Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. I thought it was like Rasta. It was like Jamin, but it's so I see a bunch of dudes in dreadlocks, But J-Men, and they asked me to give a 3-minute Devar Torah. So, yeah, it's what you wish you had on Kol Nidre, right? It's a 3-minute Devar Torah. Anyway, so I kind of rifled through my. Like am I going to know any of these people? When am I ever going to get to speak to them again? Will they care? But I sort of rifled through the mental Rolodex of kind of favorite texts and greatest hits, and I wanted to tell you what I'm going to do, so now you don't have to go to J-Man because I told you already. I love talking about this very famous text from Pirkei Avot. A rabbi named Ben Zoma, and some of you have heard me talk about this before, poses several questions, 4 questions, but not the same ones from the Seder. Who is rich? And my joke always is my brother-in-law, but that's unworthy, stupid joke. Who is rich? Who is wise? Who is strong? And who is honored? Yeah. Who is rich, who is wise? I probably have them in the wrong order. Who is rich, who is wise, who is strong, and who is honored? And he gives answers to each of these questions. And with the 10th graders, this is an hour-long discussion. Is say, well, in the real world, what kind of person gets respect? What kind of person, is considered rich and whatever? And in your ideal world, right? So Tarfon's answer to who is rich, Ezehu Ashir, is Hasameach b'chalko, which means the one who is happy with their portion. Right? A person who is extremely wealthy monetarily but is pretty unhappy is sort of a staple of movies and TV shows and so on. Who is rich? Somebody who's happy with their portion. Who is wise? And his answer is those who learn from everybody. Literally, halomed mikol adam, somebody who can learn from any person. Who is strong? His answer is someone who develops self-control. And who is honored? And his answer is those who show respect to others. And some of this is, as they say, aspirational, in our world, right? And one question I got 3 minutes, and I think they'd be done by now. I think I might use 3 minutes. No? You guys figure it out.
It's only been 30.
I'm not going to insult you by giving you an answer. Right, so and they'll be like, that's why I'm a member of Agudas. Look at this guy. I'm on a roll tonight. I'm sorry. I'm in this mood, right? So then, one question is like, well, which of these truths, if you take them to be truths, do you feel the greatest kinship with, or something that's like kind of like the fortune cookie that you need right now, like, the wisdom. But then the other question, the really fun question is, well, what do these 4 answers have in common, right? Who is rich? Those who are happy with what they've got. Who is wise? Somebody who can learn from anybody. Who is strong? Somebody who has self-control. And who is honored? Somebody who honors others. What do those 4 answers have in common? Now, when I do this with the 10th graders, I have my own particular answer in mind. But anybody want to take a shot at it?
Maybe it's internal.
Okay, that's basically it. At least for me, right? That we tend to think of wealth, honor, power, and wisdom as being things that you acquire from outside of yourself, right? If I get enough degrees, and there's nothing wrong with being highly educated, right? But if I get this degree, then I'll be smart or I'll be wise, right? If I can dominate someone else out there, then I can show my strength, right? If I get on enough, if I win enough awards and whatever, right? Then I'll be honored. But here it's saying no. It's actually the way you treat other people that gets you respect. And then what I never can remember what's the other one?
Rich.
Huh?
Rich.
Right, rich, right, is acquiring, like I acquire wealth, right? Whereas it's a matter of attitude. So the way that I like it is that he says these things are not out there. At least this is my reading of it. These things are in here. And in here, for me, at least in terms of the world that we live in, I think about how incredibly challenging it would be to really try to live by who is wise, somebody who can learn from anybody. Because with understandable reasons, we have a tendency to write certain people off as just not worthy of, but even if we learn from somebody by negative example, this would not be being true to me, this is not who I want to be, you can still learn. So that's what I'm going to share with the J-Men tonight. Yeah.
Also, it's easier than the traditional way of achieving all those items.
How so?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you can be satisfied with what you want, it's easier than going out and working really hard or stealing or whatever it is that some people do to get rich.
Yeah.
And they all, to me, they're all like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I
be
mean,
wise.
I don't find it easy to be happy with what I mean, I remind
You're
myself.
lucky if it's easy.
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
What about you?
Stuart, you need to be a guru, just like teach people how to be happy with what they have. No, but I mean, no, if
Not,
you
not
can.
as much effort, maybe.
I don't know, man. We might want to take a vote on that, Stuart. You might be surprised.
You are?
Yeah.
I guess I'm lucky.
No, I mean, I've known people who are genuinely contented. It's a beautiful quality to have. It's a beautiful quality to have, I think. But
I didn't say I am.
Oh. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Anybody here know anybody who just seems to be basically pretty content with kind of how their life is or what they have?
I'm in no way like that.
I knew a guy in college that he left his bicycle out all the time, unlocked, and he didn't care. I mean, somebody stole it one time, and he said, "Whatever."
Yeah.
I was very
But it
impressed
could have
with
been
it.
drugs.
Oh my God, don't do drugs.
I had
That's
that
the
thought, and I
answer.
wasn't going to say anything, but I definitely had the thought. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably right.
Yeah, there's actually, I'll tell you one funny thing. So in this, we have this structured premarital counseling process that I and a lot of other clergy, if you want to, can be trained in, working with couples, who you're doing their wedding. And this whole thing, anyway, there's this one, they fill out this questionnaire, there's this one part where it lists sources of stress for each person. And there was this one guy, I'd never seen anything like this. It was top 10 sources of stress, and he had 2. I'm like, can I bottle what I'm I'll have what you're having. If you're living in a life where you can only find 2 somewhat sources of stress, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Who is rich? Besides my brother-in-law, somebody who has who's happy with what they have. Who is strong? Somebody who has self-control. Who is honored? Somebody who honors others. Who is wise? Somebody who can learn from anybody. Yeah. And who is rich? Basically, if you want that musically, you can get it from Sheryl Crow. Right? It's not having what you want. Wait. It's not having what you want. It's not. What is it? It's wanting what you've got.
Mm.
Okay, now I can't even remember it. Okay.
Well, the Rolling Stones said you don't always get what you want. You get what you need.
Yeah, I think it's another piece of wisdom, but yeah. All right, and then again, the whole drugs question comes in. Okay.
Drugs are bad.
Okay, yeah. I think for my swan song, Colin J. Sermon, I sometimes talk about Rabbi Paul Simon and Rabbi James Taylor. I need to do Rabbi Mick Jagger and see how that goes over. Or who's the scary dude from Aerosmith? Rabbi Steve Tyler. Yeah, that would do it. All right. And goodbye. Yes. Okay. Aleinu. Page inside back cover page. Yeah. Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach madon hakol v'tekedu la lioseh bereshit shehu asanu k'shomrei ha'adama v'hu samanu k'shlichei ha'torah shehu sam chayenu itam v'goralenu im kol ha'olam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא נהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Okay, so now, in the interest of counting the Omer, but also conserving some time here because we're running a little late. So yesterday was Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer. It's a little holiday with picnics and bonfires and things in Israel and other places. Today has been the 34th day of the Omer. So tonight is the 35th day. And we'll just do it like this. You can repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav,
asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav,
v'tzivanu
v'tzivanu,
al sfirat haomer.
al sfirat
And
haomer.
I'm just going to say in English that tonight begins the 35th day of the counting of the Omer. Okay.
Steve, is that an Omer app that you've got?
This is a Jewish calendar app that just gives the days of the Omer, but there are multiple counting of the Omer apps.
Cool.
Multiple for iOS and Android. I think if you have a flip phone, you're out of luck. But yeah, and they do things like they use the GPS to track sunset because you're supposed to say it after the sun goes down. So get this little reminder saying, 20 minutes to count the Omer, stuff like that. Yeah, it is. I have completely fallen down on counting the Omer this year in my own personal life, but it's a beautiful custom. It's surprisingly beautiful if you do it because you're counting the days, and it's remarkably hard to do, to remember to just do that little blessing. But it's really nice.
You heard about the attack on the synagogue on the island in Tunisia yesterday?
No,
you
I
didn't.
did
Yeah,
not.
yeah, chosen for apparently Lag BaOmer. There's a synagogue on an island just off the north coast of
Tunis.
Tunisia. Gavra, something like that. Well, anyway, it's the oldest synagogue in Africa, on the African continent, and it's been a site for Jewish pilgrimages forever.
Wow.
And some hater opened fire and killed a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
So we include them in our Kaddish.
Yes, we do.
And the people in Allen, Texas, and on and on. Does anybody have a particular friend or loved one they wanted to mention for Kaddish? No? Okay. So it's page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba v'yalma divra hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael v'adalal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach la'alam u'lamamei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitbarmam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiram v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'normal kuyaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru amen. All right, so we'll make a little circle here. Come around. May a measure of the friendship and love and peace that we have shared in this time together accompany us as we go forth. May the love and peace and friendship that we have shared continue to warm our hearts, and may we spread and share some of that warmth and love with those around us. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, may God shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God be with you and give you wholeness and peace in a world, we pray, of justice, equality, healing, safety, and peace for all God's children. Together we say, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank
A
you.
nice way to finish the day.
Yeah.
Ray, as always, I'm a regular at these things, Rabbi Folberg.
Hi.
You see too
Hi,
much
Rabbi.
of me.
My name is Arya.
Hi, Arya. Nice to
We
see
I
have
you.
bar
found your,
mitzvah this Saturday, yay.
Calendar on the internet.
Oh, good. Good.
So, yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I'm interested in finding out more
Hey, Joel.
about
Good to see you guys.
the
This is
congregation.
great.
So
So
I
you're back in
suspect you're a
Austin?
leader.
I'm Rabbi Folberg. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hey,
understand.
nice to meet you.
So,
Yeah, I
how
grew up
would
in
I
San Antonio. I was
continue my
glad to-
discussion?
Okay.
If you want
I
to
mean, I
get
love the
information
place,
about the
but
congregation,
great Tex-Mex.
there's a
Love
fair
it.
amount of that
Nice
on
folks,
the
but
temple
it's-
website. If you would like to come and talk to me or Rabbi Levy or somebody else, if you call, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, good to see
call
you. Back in
the
High
temple
Park.
and just ask for the rabbi's office or the clergy office,
Okay.
you'll get Trish,
One of the
and
hearings
Trish
I did,
Ivy
you know, I'm
works
pretty-
here,
one
and
of the
she
things
just
I
keeps our
did-
calendars for us and can set up some time.
If it's convenient,
People
or
live
you
at
can keep that at your
4600
Yeah, sure.
convenience
You know,
to
right
send
there.
me a
Gotcha.
That house,
Okay,
all
all
that
right.
stuff in the backyard.
Don't be offended
Yeah, that's-
if I
the
don't,
Flores's,
just
I think,
because
is-
of like
is
I'm
their
running
best
in 9
thing,
directions
and
at
all
once.
that crap, and I
But
couldn't
just
believe it.
feel free to give us a
No,
call
you're on it.
and set something up.
Okay.
Okay? For
and
real.
and so then do you do this every Wednesday night?
Yes.
Because, I mean,
Hang on, let me
it's
shut
so
this off
unique.
here.
All right.
Yes, we do it
Bedford's
every
absolutely
Wednesday
not.
night.
You know, the junk and